Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. So today we will have a special class on Gaura Purnima. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we'll take one verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is from Antya Lila, chapter 7, text number 11. Kalikalera dharma Krishna nama sankirtana Krishna sakti vina nahi tara pravartana Kalikalera dharma Krishna nama sankirtana Krishna Sakti Vina Nahe Tara Pravartana Kali Kalera Dharma Krishna Nama Sankirtana Krishna Sakti Vina Nahe Tara Pravartana. Kalikalera dharma Krishna nama sankirtana Krishna sakti bina nahe tara pravartana Kalikalera dharma Krishna nama sankirtana Krishna Sakti Bina Nahi Tara Pravartana Kalikalera Krishna Nama Sankirtana Krishna Sakti Bina Nahi Tara Pravartana. Kalikalera dharma Krishna nama sankirtana Krishna sakti bina nahe tara pravartana. Synonyms: Kalikalera, of this age of Kali. Dharma, the duty. Krishna nama sankirtana, chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna. Krishna Sakti Vina, without being empowered by Lord Krishna. Nahe is not. Tara, of that. Pravartana, propagation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The fundamental religious system in the age of Kali is the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. Unless empowered by Krishna, one cannot propagate the Sankirtan movement. Translation with repetition. The fundamental religious system in the age of Kali is the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. Unless empowered by Krishna, one cannot propagate the Sankirtan movement. There is no purport. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I'd like to welcome each one of you for this Gaura Purnima festival class, special class. There's a very nice song, a very nice verse which is composed by Vrindavan Thakur, which is also quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It says, Ajanu lambita bhujau, Ajanu lambita bhujau kanakavadhato. Ajanu lambita bhujau. If you look at Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, his arms, it go beyond his knees, very long hands. That's the sign of someone who is a Mahapurush. Ajanu lambita bhujau kanakavadhato. Kanakavadhato. Kanaka is gold. Kanakavadhato. His complexion is like molten gold. Ajanu lambita bhujau kanakavadhato. Sankirtanaika pitaro kamalayataksho. Sankirtanaika pitaro. He is the one who started the Sankirtan movement. Sankirtanaika pitaro kamalayataksho. His eyes are like lotus. Kamalayataksho, like lotus petals. Viswambharo Dijabharo Yuga Dharma Palo. Viswambharo Dijabharo. He's the topmost of Brahmanas. Dijabharo Yuga Dharma Palo, who came and demonstrated how to practice this Yuga Dharma in this Kali Yuga. Viswambharo Dijabharo Yuga Dharma Palo Sankirtanaika Pitaro Karunavataro. Bande Jagat Priya Karo Karunavataro. Bande Jagat Priya Karo Karunavataro. Most merciful incarnation. Most merciful. Ajanu lambita bhujau kanakavadhato sankirtanaika pitaro kamalayataksho viswambharo dijabharo yugadharma palo bande jagat priyakaro karunavataro. When we speak about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we say that he is the most merciful incarnation. Right? His mercy is unlimited compassion. Now, what is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy which is so special? What is it that he gives? Why he is called by Rupa Goswami as Namo Mahabadanyaya? Next line, next word is Krishna Prema Pradayate. Namo Mahabadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Gaura Tvishanam. The most rare thing in life, rarest. There are things which are rare, there are things which are rarer, there are things which is rarest. Rare is to get a human form of life. Rarer is to come in touch with a pure devotee. But rarest is to get an opportunity to engage in devotional service. Very, 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 very difficult. Not easy. Not just devotional service, but pure devotional service. Rarest. So it doesn't come. We know in Bhagavatam and in other scriptures, it mentions about two kinds of living entities. Bhagavad Gita talks about in the 16th chapter, divine and demoniac nature. So there's always this demigods and demons who are there, and there's a constant battle which goes on between them. But the demigods, even though they are devotees of the Lord, they're not pure devotees. They are sakama bhakta. They have some desires. It's not, they are on the pure devotional platform. What Chaitanya Mahāprabhu does when he comes is, this is why he is called the most merciful incarnation. He doesn't have any consideration whether we are deserving or not. Patre dekhe ya patre dekhe, whether we are, if there is a consideration like that which has been brought, if there are qualifications which are required, none of us will qualify. If you see the message of Bhagavad Gita, as Krishna says, almost in every place he has put condition, everywhere. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayisyami masucha. But first you have to sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. Mamekam sharanam braja. You have to surrender to me, then aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayisyami. What is that? 10.9 is Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. You have to engage in devotional service, but priti purvakam, with loving devotional service. Otherwise, dadami buddhi yogam tam will not happen. Idam tu te guhyatamam prabhakshyami anasuyabe. One has to be non-envious of Krishna. And if you search in this world, how many people do you think you'll find who are non-envious? Not just that, after finishing the whole 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, almost towards the end, after the most confidential instruction has been given by Krishna, Sarva Dharman Parityajya, what does he say? He says that don't share this knowledge with people who are idam tute na tapaskaya, na bhaktaya kadachana. Na tapaskaya, somebody who is not austere, don't share this knowledge. Na bhaktaya, if somebody is not a devotee, don't share this knowledge. Na cha anasuyabe, somebody who's having jealousy, who's having enviousness, don't share. Na cha mam yo abhyasuyati. Never discuss this thing. So he's putting condition. The confidential knowledge may not be explained to those who are not austere or devoted or engaged in devotional service, not to one who's envious of me. How this thing? But still we are going and distributing Bhagavad Gita. When we distribute Bhagavad Gita, do we ask, are you a devotee? Are you doing austerity? Are you engaged in devotional service? Are you non-envious of Krishna? We are not. We are just giving it. How do we do that? The same Krishna, when he comes as Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, he is not giving instruction, he is demonstrating how to lead a life of a devotee. Bande jagat priya karo karuna avataro. And he is telling, Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna upades. There is nothing that he has kept aside. Jare dekho tare kaho, excluding. No. Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna upades. You give this, you distribute this knowledge. Because Chaitanya Mahāprabhu has given this instruction, because Chaitanya Mahāprabhu has given this direction, we are distributing this. Actually, Krishna, after winding of his pastimes, when he goes back to his own abode. Krishna sodhama upagate dharma jnana divisaha kalo nashta drishame so puranarko adhunodita. When he goes back, he is realizing, I gave all these instructions, but still foolish people like us, strongly rooted in bodily concept of life, we don't embrace this practice of devotional life. We don't take it up. It is very clearly given. Krishna is telling what needs to be done. How many of us reading that on our own will become devotee, or we will understand, we will say that this is what I have to do? Repeatedly telling, we have to tell our mind, but the mind is hell-bent to enjoy this material world, to exploit this material nature, to lord over everything that we say. Very difficult, extremely tough. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes down as a devotee. He demonstrates devotional life by his practical action through his associates. How does one surrender? Krishna said, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam. That surrender, how does it happen? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu demonstrates that. The verse that I took today, there are so many wonderful episodes in Chaitanya Charitamrita which practically demonstrate many aspects of devotional life. This particular verse, which we often see Prabhupada quoting, Kali Kalera Dharma Krishna Nam Sankirtan, Krishna Sakti Bina Nahe Tar Pravartan. Kali Kalera Dharma, this is Kali Yuga, right? Very glorious age, isn't it? Age of quarrel, age of dissension. Two people cannot stay together. They come together to serve, they come together to practice devotional life. Difference of opinion, there is fight, quarrel, envy, anger, frustration. Kali Kalera Dharma Krishna Nam Sankirtan. The only hope is, that's why Prabhupada, when he came to the West, he only established Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gaura Nitai deities. Everywhere, Gaura Nitai deities. Very merciful. Kali Kalera Dharma Krishna Nam Sankirtan. Other things we just cannot do. It's very tough. Krishna Sakti Bina Nahe Tar Pravartan. To convince another person, to inspire someone to take up to Krishna consciousness is not possible unless we are empowered. Krishna Sakti Bina Nahe Tar Pravartan. Interestingly, I chose this verse when we are talking about Chaitanya Charitamrita, we are talking about Gaura Purnima and the appearance day of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because we've heard different aspects of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, but this one is a very, very sensitive, very fine thing. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very particular, and he wants that we should have this particular thing inside us. This verse comes in the Antya Lila, where there is a meeting between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and a great personality by name Vallabha. So who's Vallabha? If you have doubts, who's he and what is his glories, you can go to this verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita again. That is verse number... Actually, the verse will be mentioned here only in this... This meeting of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Vallabha is happening in Jagannath Puri, and this is given in Antya Lila, chapter 7. Okay, and in this... you have to go to Madhya Lila, chapter 19, text number 61, if you want to know who's Vallabha. But this meeting has something very powerful. So to understand this, I chose this particularly. Anything that you want to read in Chaitanya Charitamrita, one chapter, you want to understand what is this chapter all about, you have to read the first verse, because Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is a genius. Every chapter he is summarized with one Sanskrit verse which talks about what this chapter is going to be. Caitanya charanam bhoja makaranda liho bhaje yesham prasada matrena pamaropi amaro bhavet. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the devotees of Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu. Simply by the causeless mercy of the devotees engaged in licking honey from his lotus feet, even a fallen soul becomes eternally liberated. Pamaropi amaro bhavet. Even a fallen soul becomes eternally liberated. Actually, Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he has, along with his associates, has demonstrated all the finer things that we need to have, we must have, if we want to experience spiritual bliss. Spiritual bliss is not a phantasmagoria, it's not a fantasy. It's not like with something which is an abstract thing. And I can experience maybe sometimes when I'm eating some palatable food, oh, this is good. Or some very melodious tune, then we will maybe, oh, this is what it is. No. Spiritual bliss is a state which we can attain irrespective of who we are, in what position, if we know, if we have the causeless mercy of the devotees of Caitanya Mahaprabhu who are engaged in licking the honey from his lotus feet. Even a fallen soul, which all of us are, fallen soul becomes eternally liberated. What happened actually in this pastime? This Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu performed his pastimes with his devotees. Then a learned scholar named Vallabha went to Jagannath Puri to meet the Lord. When Vallabha arrived, he offered his obeisances at the lotus feet of the Lord. Accepting him as a great devotee, the Lord embraced him. Actually, with great respect, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu seated Vallabha near him. Then Vallabha very humbly began to speak. What Caitanya Mahaprabhu is going to demonstrate, I'll come to that. It's a very powerful thing in this. Of course, Caitanya Mahaprabhu, throughout his manifested pastimes, he demonstrates this again and again. So Vallabha has arrived. Caitanya Mahaprabhu knows that he's a big scholar. He's accepting him. He's paying obeisance to him and he's embracing him. And Lord embraced him. And then with great respect, Caitanya Mahaprabhu seated Vallabha near him. Then Vallabha very humbly began to speak. What is he saying? For a long time, he said, I have desired to see you, my Lord. Now Lord Jagannath has fulfilled this desire, therefore I am seeing you. One who receives your audience is fortunate indeed, for you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. Then, since one who remembers you is purified, why should it be astonishing that one becomes purified by seeing you? This is a verse from Bhagavatam which is quoting, Yesham samsmaranat pumsam sadhya suddhyanti vaigraha kim punar darshana sparsha pada sauchasanadibhi. One can immediately purify his entire house simply by remembering exalted personalities. To say nothing of directly seeing them, touching their lotus feet, washing their feet, or offering them place to sit. This is a verse which Parikshit Maharaj says to Sukadeva Goswami. Just remembrance. One can immediately purify his entire house simply by remembering exalted person. Just the remembrance. Prabhupada, when he writes that Markine Bhagavad Dharma, he says, today is some very auspicious day, that I am having a remembrance of you, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. When he's writing that poem, he's saying, remembrance of a pure devotee, just remembrance can purify us. Then what to speak of seeing them, touching their feet, washing their feet, or offering them places to sit. When Vallabhacharya is saying all these things, what is the thought that is coming in your mind? Must be a great devotee, isn't it? He's glorifying Caitanya Mahaprabhu so nicely. But very interestingly, Caitanya Mahaprabhu knows that inside the heart of Vallabhacharya there is pride. This one thing, how nicely Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his own example, by his own behavior, by his own conduct, corrects many a times throughout Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is Vallabhacharya. There is a sampradaya, we say Vallabha sampradaya. Big personality. He is coming and glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows that deep within him there is pride. Sometimes, people come and falsely glorify. Dinesh, kya lag raha hai tumhaj? How nicely you are singing. So that what is the expectation? What is the expectation? Prabhu, you are kind, Prabhu. You saw the good quality in me. You feel so good, Dinesh. The Prabhupada says this very nicely in one place. There is a camel which was getting married. And in that camel's marriage, there was a donkey who was there to sing. How many of you have seen a donkey making any kind of noise? In Vrindavan, I'm sure you would have seen, right? So camel is getting married and donkey is singing. So donkey is singing, Aho Rupam, Aho Rupam. To whom? Camel. Camel's face you have seen? Remember, just visualize camel's face, right? That face is doing this with a hunchback. He's getting married and he's saying, Aho Rupam, how beautiful you are. How beautiful, how beautiful. So in return, what camel is saying? Aho Dhvanim, Aho Dhvanim. Oh, what melodious voice you have. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu detects these things. Very fine thing. This whole episode here is directing in one particular thing, how pride can take us completely away from devotional service. Completely off guard. And how pride comes, and how if somebody is not careful about this, it's a Vallabha Bhaṭṭa. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of his causeless mercy, is purifying. He is taking out those things. One can immediately purify his entire house simply by remembering exalted personalities. Imagine if somebody comes and says to you, oh, you are the best devotee, Prabhu. I've met so many devotees. None can come close to you. You speak so well, so articulate. You are so good in kirtan. The way you do aratis, it's pure devotion is flowing. Then where you'll be in somewhere there, and in some sky you'll be floating, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he does? His first response to him is, he's talking about so many things. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu begins to speak, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied. See, Mahaprabhu kahe, Suna Bhaṭṭa Mahamati, Mayavadi Sannyasi Ami, Na Jani Krishna Bhakti. My dear Vallabha Bhaṭṭa, you are a learned scholar. Kindly listen to me. I am a sannyasi of the Mayavada school. I have no chance of knowing what Krishna Bhakti is. And I am a Mayavada sannyasi. I don't have. So he has glorified him so much. Actually, he is telling, you have spreaded the holy names all over the world. Without being especially empowered by Krishna, one cannot manifest ecstatic love of Krishna. For Krishna is the only one who gives ecstatic love. That is the verdict of all revealed scriptures. Like that, he has glorified so many things. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's first response, I'm just a Mayavadi sannyasi. I'm a Mayavadi sannyasi. How can I possibly even know what Krishna Prema is? And then he will say something, and then he wants to bring us to a point which is very, very powerful. He says, actually, what happens is I associate with Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya Gosai Sakshat Ishvara. Tanra Sange Amara Mana Hoila Nirmala. Nevertheless, my mind has become purified because I have associated with Advaita Acharya, who is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am a Mayavada sannyasi. I don't have Krishna Prem. But because he is Ishvara, I am associating with him. I have got some, mind has become little pure. And then he goes on. Then he says that I'm also associating with an Abadhut called Nityananda Prabhu, who is mad in Krishna Prema. By his association, I'm getting a little Krishna Prema. And then he'll go on to say, I know another great devotee called Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who's well versed in all the Saddarshan philosophy. So I have little understanding of this thing. He will go on talking about these things to bring to one conclusion. So, when he is building this up, what is he trying to say is, he is developing, he's creating a desire inside Vallabha, so that Vallabha is also a learned scholar. It's not like he was, but he had that pride. So Vallabha develops a desire, can I meet these devotees? Can I meet them? Is it possible, all these devotees that you're talking about, can I meet them? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, many of them stay in Orissa, in Bengal, they are there in different parts, they may not be available right now, but if you want to meet them, you should wait for Jagannath Rath Yatra. They will all come. You should wait for Jagannath Rath Yatra. These are all the things, I'm just going a little fast in this. In Jagannath Rath Yatra time, Vallabha stays back and he sees the devotees, the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who are all there? Swarup Damodar, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur's glories also he mentions. All of them were there. When Vallabha is seeing them, what happened was he noticed they were effulgent. They were very bright. So first time he's seeing them and he's looking at each one of them and there is a glow in them. Glow doesn't mean, somebody has to buy a, what is that, fair and handsome. Fair and lovely is for Matajis. Male it is fair and handsome, isn't it? So that you become little this thing and the light when it falls, you'll be there exactly under so that you... No. A glow, it cannot be done artificially. And Vallabha noticed this. Now pause there, okay? Vallabha comes, he meets, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu detects that there is some pride inside, and then he says, when Vallabha is glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are great, you are Supreme Personality of Godhead, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I am a Mayavadi sannyasi. Just little this thing I have got because of association with Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu, Haridas Thakur, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Swarup Damodar, all these people he counted. Vallabha stays back and has the association of this associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who were bright and effulgent. Now here is the thing which I want you to pay attention. How does a person become spiritually effulgent? What is the process? This Prabhupada mentions in Bhagavatam very nicely. Very, very nice, very interesting things actually. And what prevents one to experience that spiritual happiness or bliss? The state of glow or the state of effulgence comes when somebody is genuinely spiritually happy. Spiritual happiness brings that glow. That it's not some fairness of the skin. The glow can come in a dark-skinned person also. That comes by spiritual happiness. What prevents that spiritual happiness, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very carefully doing this, is the pride inside us. Pride is the biggest problem. Any kind of pride for anything. Kunti Maharani, what she prays? What are the four things? What are the four? Yeah, what is Janma? Birth. Aishwarya is? Wealth, opulence. Shruta is? Knowledge. Shri is? Beauty. You should know this, right? Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri Bhir, Edha, Mana, Mada, Puman. Pride comes. I was just seeing one video clip of one news channel where they were saying that Bill Gates, apparently maybe a role model for many, has been involved in that Epstein files, and there are some evidences that they have found, right? So the news anchor was saying that when we have some role models for ourselves, thinking that they're so ideal, there's a Bill Gates Foundation, is doing so much of charitable things, built a great company like Microsoft. And when you see this aspect of his, right, that he also has this, how does it come? Where does it come? There is Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri. Aishwarya is wealth. How does a person get corrupt? You never know. Power corrupts. I don't want to, but still, Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri, birth, opulence, knowledge, intelligence, and beauty. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri, Vir, Edha, Mana, Madha, Puman. It brings pride. It's a fact. It brings pride. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri, Vir, Edha, Mana, Madha, Puman. Naivarti, Abhidhatum, Vai, Tvam, Akinchana, Gocharam. Naivarti, Abhidhatum, Vai. Feelingly calling out the Lord will not happen because of pride. Similar verse is spoken by Narad Muni. Narad Muni mentions this verse, exactly those four things. Nahi anyo jusato joshyan buddhi bhramso rajogunaha Srimadad abhijatyadir yatra stri dyutam asavaha. This verse is spoken by Narad Muni to the sons of Kubera, Mani Kubera, Manigriva and Nalakubera. Nalakubera and Manigriva. This is in the 10th canto, 10th chapter, 8th verse. Prabhupada's translation and purport. I'll come to that. But if I have to ask you, out of these four things, Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shrivir, which one you think is the worst? Shri is what? Beauty. Beauty will fade. Nobody's beauty has remained forever. Beauty will go away. Knowledge can have dementia. दो ही बचा है और okay, birth also. How many of you are very proud of your inheritance? How many of us we know our grandfather's father's name? Even grandfather's name might be difficult for some. Grandfather's grandfather's name तो गया, कोई किसी को याद नहीं है. Wealth, that'll go. In this verse, Narad Muni says, wealth leads to all problems. Nahi anyo jusato joshyan buddhi brahmso rajoguna Srimadat is wealth. Abhijatyadir. Even if you don't have knowledge, even if you don't have beauty, even if you don't have a rich birth, rich inheritance, if you have money, it can corrupt your mind. Yatra stri dyutam asavaha. Narad Muni said, among all the attractions of material enjoyment, the attraction of riches bewilders one's intelligence more than having beautiful bodily features, taking birth in an aristocratic family, and being learned. When one is uneducated but falsely puffed up by wealth, the result is that one engages his wealth in enjoying wine, women, and gambling. The example of Bill Gates, which I was saying, is nothing but this. When you have that wealth in your disposal, very tough. It leads to this thing. What is happening is, because of these four things, of course here he is mentioning about wealth, pride comes. When pride comes, two things happens. A person starts doing offenses. And the second, because I'm puffed up, I'm proud, I do offense. I don't care about the devotees. Not grossly, but subtly. And the second thing that happens is the simplicity in the heart gets changed to crookedness. One is pride and the other one is crookedness. What happens if you do offense? What is the problem? I mean, we say almost every day. Today in the morning there was a quote by Prabhupada on Vaishnava Parad. In a month I read these quotes. Out of 30 days, at least 4 or 5 times you will get a quote on Vaishnava Parad. We've all seen, we've all heard what exactly happens if somebody does Vaishnava Parad. There are 6 things which completely become vanished by doing Vaishnava Parad. 6 things. What are those 6 things? Bhagavatam talks about this. Ayuhu, Shriyam, Yasho, Dharmam, Lokan Asisha Evacha, Hanti Shreyamsi Sarvani, Pumso Mahadatikramaha. This is in the when Kamsa was trying to kill the newborn babies of Devaki, when the 8th child, which was Yogamaya, when she was being attacked by Kamsa, or when Kamsa offended, this verse is spoken by Sukadev Goswami to Parikshit. When somebody does offenses, 6 things go away. Ayu is the duration of life. Shriyam is beauty. Yasho is fame. Dharmam is religion. Lokan is elevation to higher planets. Elevation to higher planets means if you have a desire that you've done so much of. Sometimes we feel, right, we know that verse of Bhagavad Gita 2.40 where Krishna says, Neha vikramo nasosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato vaya. I have done I have come to temple, I have done this thing. All those things will go away. Ayu, Shriyam, Yasho, Dharmam, Lokan, Asisha, all the benedictions, blessings. Blessings also, whatever we've got. Evacha, Hanti Shreyamsi Sarvani. Hanti Shreyamsi Sarvani. Hanti means it destroys. Hanti Shreyamsi Sarvani. Pumso Mahad Atikrama. Mahad Atikrama, when you trespass against the great personalities. Pumso Mahad Atikrama. To be so careful. So very careful with this. Where is the root cause? The root cause is pride. There's some pride inside, where somebody doesn't mind. I know I'm superior, I'm this thing, I'm this, I'm that. Mahadatikrama. Ayu Shriyam Yasho Dharmam Loka Nasisha Evacha Hanti Shreyamsi Sarvani Pumso Mahadatikramaha. Actually, one of the beautiful things of Srimad Bhagavatam is if we realize that we have crossed the line or we have done a mistake, because everybody does mistakes. To err is human. There's nobody who can say that I've never done mistakes. I've crossed the line, I should retreat. The idea, what is the right word? The intelligence to retreat is a sign of, it's a sign of victory. It's not a sign of weakness. I mean, you see that this is a losing battle. You retreat. No, this is not good for me. Retreat is a sign of victory. You see great examples of so many people. Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj was protected by the Lord himself in the mother's womb. That's why his name was Vishnurat. And he had the darshan of the Lord in the womb of his mother, and he was examining, where is that person? Where is that person? That's why his name is Parikshit. But this Parikshit, when he was cursed for a small, minor mistake of his, he was thirsty, and he went to the sages, Samika Rishi's hermitage, didn't find any response from him, just coiled a dead snake around him and goes back. His son, Shringi, cursed him to die in 7 days' time. 7th day, one snake will come and finish you off. Parikshit Maharaj could have countered. He had all the power within him to counter this. How many of you have read Bhagavatam 9th canto? Not yet. 9th canto, you're there. 9th canto, there is a mention of one person by name Prasarada or something. He's Vasishta Muni's disciple. In an Amavasya night, he was guarding the cows. Amavasya means full dark, right? There was nothing. And he was supposed to, you know that? No, I'm not. So he was guarding the cows from wild animals, and he saw that night there was a tiger who came to attack. So this, I'm not able to recall his exact prasraddha or something. So he aimed at the tiger to shoot an arrow. What happened was, instead of the tiger being killed, the head of the cow got cut off. And after that, the arrow went and hit the tiger also. The tiger also lost one leg or something, but the tiger ran away. Vasishta Rishi comes and curses him. That, you have done Gohatya, and because of this Gohatya, you have to take birth in the next life as a person who doesn't understand the value of human life. How many of us we are sitting here where it's worse than Sudra? He gave that curse. Interestingly, what Bhagavatam mentions, that this person went and started chanting the holy name of the Lord. See, the curse was, in the next life, only if I die, if I take a next birth, I'll be taking birth as someone like, Sudra, like I don't understand the value of human life. But he chanted and he could counter that curse. Usually when we hear about the curse, we know that somebody falls at the lotus feet of that person who is cursed, and we come back to our senses, we ask for forgiveness, or the devotee who's been cursed, he'll be asking for forgiveness. But the words which have come out of the mouth of a person it cannot be retracted. It cannot be retreated. Like, the arrow which has been shot from a bow, it is gone. It's like that. The words spoken. But he could do. He just chanted and he went back home, back to Godhead. This is what Bhagavatam says. Parikshit Maharaj had the power to counter curse. He was a pure devotee. He could prevent Kali to come even after Krishna's departure. He could prevent as long as he was there. He could have easily counter cursed. He didn't. This retreating, when you see that it's a hand of the Lord and accepting it and not countering, is a sign of intelligence, is a sign of humility. That humility is the weapon with which we can conquer the whole world. That is what Chaitanya Mahāprabhu is demonstrating in this past. Not just this, you see Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. For 7 days he's been speaking. Non-stop he's speaking and Chaitanya Mahāprabhu is just listening. You see Prakasananda Saraswati. When he goes, he's taking a humble position, he's sitting there where people are washing their feet. It is not artificial. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu genuinely, by nature, he is humble and he's telling us, learn this art of humility. So powerful. And I'll come to this where we paused at one place. I'll bring where Prabhupada brings this point. Wonderful connection actually. Beautiful it is. Bhagavad Gita, if you read Bhagavad Gita, what does it say? The 20 items of knowledge. First thing is amanitvam. Amanitvam, adambitvam. What is amanitvam? Mana, what is the difference between they're sounding similar. Amanitvam, adambitvam. Amanitvam means if you have some good quality inside you. Say you are able to play some musical instruments. You are able to cook nicely. You are proud of that quality. And opposite of that is amanitvam. Adambitvam, dambha comes. Where is the dambha? Dambha means I don't have anything, yet I am powerful, yet I am proud. So for example, somebody is sleeping during chanting time. Okay. Now, does it mean that anybody sitting here has never slept in chanting? Is there anybody like that? We've done some point in time, right? But the feeling comes inside. Say, okay, that. So right. I've also slept there sometime, no? That dambha comes. amanitvam adhambitvam. Actually, nothing belongs to us, if you see. But this feeling that, I don't have it, but there is a dambha. Practically everything that is given to us is given by the Lord. But amanitvam adhambitvam, right? The 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, if you see, the divine qualities are finished in just 3 verses. The remaining chapter, fully Krishna is talking about demoniac qualities, because that is there deeply, big time inside us, fully. So what it does is, when a person becomes proud, he cannot learn anything. He cannot learn anything. He loses everything. I said about 6 things. And he offends everyone. Actually, there is a nice conversation which Prabhupada is talking about. All of us, we are familiar with the pastime of Kalya. Kalya's pastime, there is one very important lesson. Can you tell me, as per you, what is the important lesson? Prabhupada is mentioning about this. What is the important lesson from Kalya's pastime? Kalya's pastime only, yeah. Okay. Okay. I mean, these are all correct. They're all not, I'm not saying they're wrong. Anything else? Devotees. Okay. Just because you have poison doesn't mean that you can contaminate everyone, is it? Okay. Very powerful thing in this pastime. Very striking. Okay. That's also very true. If you see that pastime, you said that humility, he offered the wonderful prayers offered by the wives of Kalya. Right? Kalya, what is it? Wives of Kalya is Kalya's, Nagapatnis. Nagapatnis offer beautiful prayers. Interestingly, Kalya could repeat those prayers immediately after that. If you read Krishna book, Kalya has been told about his problems, about his pride, and about what needs to be done earlier also. But it never went inside. It used to go to the deaf ears. Nothing was going. What happened was, when he became prideless, he learned. So when a person becomes proud, even if there are people around him, his well-wishers, his friends who are telling that these are the problems, you should not be doing that, doesn't go inside. So Kalya heard that and repeated that. He became a Shrutidhar. That's what the word used in Bhagavatam. He could repeat that because he became prideless. The pride is gone, so he became prideless. Otherwise, if there is pride, then there is always a feeling that I have nothing to learn. I know everything. The learning stops. Prabhupada is talking to some devotee whom he wants to preach in the university, and he says that people who are too proud, they say that, what is some boring lecture? I have to kill some 2 hours. Such a boring lecture. Learning has stopped. To learn something, one has to be humble and receptive. There has to be reception. Otherwise, that feeling that I know. It's a very nice example which Prabhupada quotes, which I liked very much. If you search for this, you will find this. What Prabhupada is saying is, humility makes a person spiritually intelligent. It's a very important thing. Makes a person spiritually intelligent. And he says something, there is something called a niggling effect. Imagine if I give you some nuts to have. Okay? And this much of nuts in your hand I give you, and you just put it in your mouth and you are relishing nice, so nice nuts. These are roasted, like our Mahāprabhu roasts them, and you are having it. While you are having those nuts, there is one stone inside this. How will it feel? Just one stone, small. It spoils the whole thing. Like that, you may have so many good qualities, but one pride, if it is there, it spoils the whole thing. It takes away the whole thing. Actually, it's so wonderful. So what happens is, when you have pride, what we have, we will lose. We will become enemies with the devotees. And the only peace is in the temple, where you come and you feel that, I'll be peaceful in the temple, but you come here and you see also, why this devotee is here? The heart becomes hardened, hard heart. I'm supposed to participate in kirtan, in sankirtan. I want to experience that spiritual bliss, but that is gone. Pure devotees, Prabhupada says, are always spiritually intelligent. They are ruthlessly consistent, very consistent. They cling to one humility. You see, Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur is a Namacharya. He wants to go to any temple he could have gone. But he clings that, no, I am born in a Muslim family. Clings on to that. Never allow that pride to come. Right? So that is the only position where you can taste spiritual pleasure. This is the point which I wanted to bring. Prabhupada's right. That is the only position where you can taste spiritual pleasure. Otherwise, no. Proud means disturbed looking at the devotee. Somebody is getting something more than me. I am feeling why Krishna is giving it to him. Somebody is getting less than me. Then also I have a problem. I am doing so much of sadhana, I am doing so much of sacrifice, he is not doing anything. Still he is getting. Everywhere there is mind creates this problem. Spiritually intelligent people are those who know how to collect mercy from everybody. This is why Chaitanya Mahāprabhu is saying that my devotees are so glorious. And when Vallabha, he meets them for what? By the devotees' association, by the devotees' mercy, we become spiritually intelligent. When we collect those mercy, we can become happy. Always, in all circumstances. That happiness you can't hide. That happiness, anybody sees, he will get attracted. Like Vallabha got attracted to the associates of Chaitanya Mahāprabhu. That is why if you see the prayers of all the great devotees in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are maybe about 50-60 prayers might be there. All prayers, there is one thing which is common. One very simple thing. Tuleyama labhenapi. Tuleyama labhenapi. Naswargam na punar. What is that? Naswargam na punar bhavam. Bhagavad sangi sangasya. Kim asisa. Pull up that verse. Can you search Tuleyama Lavinapi? This one prayer everybody has. Everybody. You may say that the karmis outside are very nice. They don't harm me. And I may go there. But they don't give you anything also. It's association of devotees. Tulayama labhenapi. What is this? Why it is thing so much? Yeah, but it is not opening. Tulayama labhenapi naswargam na punarbhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kimutasisa. Martyanam kimut. What other blessing is there for somebody who's mortal? Martyanam kimutasisha. Tulayama labhenapi naswargam na punarbhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kimutasisha. If you see in Bhagavatam, we always talk about Sauvari Muni. Sauvari Muni, offended. Today in the morning we had that quote. Sauvari Muni also went and got married to, he saw two fish mating and he got married. He went and married to the 50 daughters of Mandhata. What happens after that to Sauvari Muni? When we talk about, what do you know about Indra? Okay. What is the mention of Indra? King of Heaven, the TK. What did he do? Enjoys and? Okay. Okay. What about Durvasa? No, not you. Aryan. दुर्वासा का क्या पता है दुर्वासा के बारे में? दुर्वासा सुना है ना? क्या करता है वो? खा पी के सोता है? What is Durvasa famous for? Getting angry and cursing, right? What is Vishwamitra? If I say what is that comes to your mind? Huh? Menka, Rambha, right? He did austerity, bhang ho gaya. Then this is what we remember. Actually, in this conversation, Prabhupada says, Indra, how long Indra lives? Duration of life of Indra compared to us? What is the duration of life in heavenly planets? Huh? No. Huh? No, 6 months of our time is 1 day of theirs. And they live for 100 years. Okay. Now, Indra, in his whole life, has done maybe 10-12 mistakes. 10-12 these things. And we cling on to that. Right? Vishwamitra fell down, Menaka. But he was also a guru of Ramachandra. The Saubhari Muni, actually, one day he realizes, after this Bhagavatam mentions that he realized, my God, what did I do? Krishna doesn't, it's not like that whole austerity that he did became all effortless or pointless. No. In our life, if we look, we do so many offenses, so many mistakes. But when it comes to all these people, we remember only those things. Right? So careful we have to be. Should never allow that pride. In front of, standing maybe before the deities only, we'll be thinking how great I am. I'm doing one arati. We are standing before the Supreme Lord. I can think that nobody is looking at me. I can go ahead and do whatever I feel like independently. This is what Chaitanya Mahāprabhu very carefully, actually the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's technique is so wonderful. Kali Yuga, you try to say somebody something, you sometimes want to refrain. Because you know that that person is not going to take that positively, nicely. Because he's riding on the vehicle of pride. You basically don't do anything, don't disturb. The moment you start saying something, gone, over. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very carefully uses this humility and also ensures his associates are having this humility. And if he sees someone having that pride, he curbs it, but very nicely. This is what is this 920. This is what is this episode all about. A little more, if time permits, some other time we'll see. But the point which I was trying to drive is, humility doesn't mean artificially trying to become, some humble this thing. It is becoming spiritually intelligent. What is ultimately good for me? And that spiritual intelligence means there is everybody from whom I can take some mercy. Everybody's mercy is required. That mercy brings happiness inside. And that happiness, that spiritual happiness brings the glow which Vallabha saw in all the associates of Chaitanya. He got transformed. There's something more that happens. We will see some of the beautiful episode. Very small, fine little things which can transform a person's life. I'll stop here and see if you have any questions or comments. Sorry? Live with that and pamper that? No, we have to get rid of it. So the one thing which you can search in Bhagavatam 7th canto, it says Darpo Mahotsevaya, something in those lines. Only by rendering service to Mahat, one can overcome pride. Darpo. Actually, our the whole movement, the ISKCON movement, why so much of emphasis or stress is given? Because if you really want to experience that spiritual bliss, the state is humility. And Narottam Das Thakur says, Chhadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Pai Cheke. If you give up this, thinking it is difficult or painful, and you go out, Chhadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Pai Cheke. Who's been delivered by living the association of devotees. Prabhupada quotes that in one of those verses. So by serving the Vaishnavas, how will you overcome the pride? The pride comes because you think you're the controller, or you're the enjoyer, or you are superior. So that attitude of service to everyone can overcome the pride. It's very tough, it's not easy, it's subtle. In one of the songs, what is his name? Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he sings, Hoila o sarva guna guni mahasaya, pratishtha chhadi koro omani hridaya. You may have all gunas. Hoila o sarva guna guni mahasaya. You may be guni of all gunas. But this pratishtha chhadi, if that desire, because these are subtle anarthas. Puja lava pratishtha. Pratishtha chhadi koro amani hridaya. One has to pray to the Lord that let this crookedness, let this pride not come and affect me. Because if that happens, my devotion is gone. It's very tough. Does that help? There is one last thing. Prabhupada, once he was going in a morning walk, this is in Calcutta. From the other side, there was one man who was coming with a fish. Indian person, didn't know much. He thought he'll offer that fish to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, would you like to have this? So Prabhupada said, no, we don't take. And then that man was going. So Prabhupada said, you enjoy. The devotees around him were very puzzled. And then Prabhupada paused for a moment and then said, and then suffer. Right? This is the trick of Maya. When somebody wants to surrender, Maya whispers in the ear, don't surrender, don't surrender. So one may question then, what is this thing? No, you enjoy. Enjoy means Maya is saying, I'll be able to kick you. Enjoy and then suffer. What makes us do that? Our pride. Let me enjoy. Maya, the definition of Maya is Maya, that which is not. Krishna is eternal. We are eternal. Krishna's energies are eternal. What is Maya then? Maya is this idea, I can be happy or I can enjoy without Krishna. That's what binds us in this material world. Srila Prabhupada ki, Chaitanya Mahāprabhu ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari.